Hello, my name's Katrina Jean Taylor. I'm a medical intuitive and energy healer alongside curriculum development and help people self-heal. I'm the founder of the Direction Technique, and today I'm here with Nicole Shepherd, who's going to interview me on topics of emerging intuitive gifts, especially around those that have special gifts, plus conditions that the so-called world has called and labelled autism or learning difficulties or being different or not being able to process information very well. I'm happy to be here today with my experience healing, seeing, helping people self-heal alongside using medical intuitive skills to be able to scan bodies, X-ray vision bodies, to find the root cause of the condition. You do not have to have a condition to be able to have access to these skills, but the exciting process is you being able to be aware of your own unique intuitive abilities. I'm proud to be able to state that I've used curriculum development throughout my education career and aligned that process of integrity and professionalism in my healing industry. Thanks, Nick, for joining me today, and we'll start with the interview on specifically emerging gifts, autism, learning difficulties, sound healing, and much more.
So can we start? I'll just start with the first question. Children with special qualities and gifts of intuitive abilities are emerging in our world. You've written that in your book. Can you talk a little about that, please?
Yeah, I think that we've always had in gifts in children, and it's not just children, it's whatever age you are, whether you're a young child or an adult that feels as though you've got these unique abilities. I've been fortunate enough to have 2 Bachelor of Educations, diploma of teacher, and privileged to write programs as an educator for both adults and children, individual programs so that they can fit in to school or adult education so they could understand English in another country. But what I saw from that is I was exposed to many conditions: autism, people that couldn't learn quickly, slow auditing. And because of that, I realized that we, as the person that wants the other person to learn in a way that they feel comfortable with, is to tap into their way of learning rather than us forcing our way, that you have to do it this way to learn. And I came across so many people, so not just children, but sensitive people. And these sensitive souls, or the sensitive people, seem to have amazing gifts.
Yeah, that's interesting because you talk about the learning difficulties and also sensitive people. Like, is there a correlation? Like, being so sensitive, like you probably distracted so much by noise and
Sure.
everything going on around you. How can you learn when you're distracted?
Well, let's just talk about even in a workforce environment. There's so many general terms out there: ADHD, low ADHD, high ADHD. Oh, I'm ADHD. I need to take a pill to help myself.
Yeah, I agree. 'Cause one size doesn't fit all. Like, we all can't learn the same way. You know, maybe the brains are like just a bit different. Obviously, there's like a label for that is autism, but it seems like a broad term, and there seems to be various spectrums of that as well.
And I spent a lot of time with autism and in Singapore and here in Australia, and also in the schools and also with clients. And autism is such a broad term, and I know it's really tiring for the parent to look after an autistic child that can't speak the English language. I really, really, really would love for those parents or those that are carers to learn ways to make sure that they can calm themselves down when they're around the situation of when they're getting so frustrated. And I do understand, I can understand that. And I'd love to tell you a story about someone that found me when I was working in Singapore, and the father came in for healing, and he just said, I want you to make my child speak, because he hadn't spoken since he was born. And so I used the direction technique and my skills to basically teleport. It's so simple to be able to communicate with this young child, and the child just totally changed. It was quite phenomenal. And he said, I want to speak to my child. And I said, well, what would you like to say to the child? And the father said, wake up. And I heard this intuitive answer, I'm already awake, Dad, you wake up. And it was so amazing, because then through listening and helping this worried father, and yes, it would be a worry, and you want everything you want for this child, but then listening to his story, he had to used to put all the colours together when he was young in certain lines. And then, when he told me about his lunch box, that it had to be all in order. I'm sure some of you are relating to this. I'm sure they are, because it's just an organisation for your mind, because of stress. So it was, and then when he left the room, it was so beautiful, because to see the calmness and the change in the demeanour of this beautiful boy. And then as he walked back, I said, oh my gosh, don't be surprised, there may be another little baby around. And I just touched my heart and thought, oh, Trina. And 1 week later, he says, my son's spoken and my wife's pregnant.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. So and I love those stories, because people also find me, and they get worried that even in high school that, the kids can't go into the normal school because, they're not fitting in and they don't understand. Well, maybe they understand more. And in Singapore, we've had some great case studies where, teaching the parent to communicate through sound healings, and allowing the parent to understand the child, and that person's in normal maths now in the mainstream. And those stories excite me. And another one in Jakarta, and I could see the parent was so tired, and I do understand. But with the direction technique, we learn ancient ways to heal, and suddenly your hands might get hot. Hey, for those people that are getting really tired, wouldn't it be fun to be able to put that heat in your hand, on your back, near the kidney area, and focus on your saliva and go, I need to calm myself down now. I really do need to calm myself down and heal my adrenal glands so that I'm not so stressed. This woman came, the child was highly autistic, and yes, diagnosed properly, highly autistic, very naughty. As soon as they came into my room, I had the intention and focus to calm, communicate, control. And you should have seen the change in this child's whole being. So what is that? Does the child feel safe? Does the child feel understood? And the mother's having a rest, and the mother's got tears, and then the child left. As soon as he got back into the car, straight back to that same behaviour. Even if you get 10 minutes of that, it will help you focus on learning how to communicate.
Yeah, that's interesting. When you talk about feeling calm and feeling safe, and then the healing, sound healing, it made me think of where you talk about healing with the dolphins. Yeah. And there are things where the children can go and swim with dolphins. Yeah. How does that work? Like, I get stressed out easily, so it's an easy way to calm me down. Yeah. Definitely.
And I've seen some disabled children with the pink dolphins in South America, and it's just they take them to these dolphins, so these dolphins can be with them for therapy. And, we can do that for our children now and make the sounds and teach them how to communicate a different way. And I think for us, it doesn't have to be autism. It doesn't. And wouldn't it be wonderful one day if we have no titles?
Be awesome.
I've dreamed of that. And I think we get to the point of teleportation, which is why I founded the direction technique, because all it is multi-dimensional realms, which means being in one place. It's like some people are really good at it. They can be at 10 paces at one time. Right? Other people aren't so good at it. And I'd love to, move on to, dreams, like when the people sleep and they wake up really tired, and I go, well, you're just astro traveling, because you're like, where'd you go? Greece and all over the place in the middle of the night. And, because they like to travel that way. All it is teleportation and I think the art of time. And that's what gets me onto the next thing with one more little story. I was in America presenting a workshop, and my sons were in Bali. This was years and years ago, and they got very, very sick. The group of people that went, because they went surfing, and there was the ocean was dirty and extremely, extremely vilely sick from polluted water. Well, I already knew. I knew to ring them up. I knew how to teleport. I knew what to do. And I think it's like instincts. And I think we're losing our...
Yeah. Have you got some tips then? You've got on how we can, how to keep the instincts?
So a few tips. I'm a medical intuitive as well, which means I can remote view or scan and be so aware of every sense I've got, which is empathy. I can see colours, I know things, I can predict futures. It's called a seer, S-E-E-E-R. How many instincts are there? Think of the wolf. How do you love, I know you love wolves, Nick. What instincts do they have?
Smell, hearing, amazing senses. There's probably more senses than we realise.
I think there's so many senses, and when you're someone like me that's had beyond the normal senses, right, and then the piercing sounds. I'm sure. How do you feel about piercing sounds?
Oh, I get extremely upset with certain noises. I can't. I definitely.
You've got to learn to switch that off, or you've got to learn to control the sense, but use that ability as an asset and don't think it's not right. Okay, and when you can remote view, which means empathy, and a lot of inside a body or around a person, you're pretty accurate, and then you can show people how to do this themselves, and then learn how to communicate with your own, you think, autistic behaviour. Or how do you communicate, not yours, I'm talking about people if they think they're autistic, because it's such a general term. Please understand to the world. I do understand what it's like. It's very tiring to mine, and you worry as an adult to make sure that your child fits into society. Well, maybe we can say they do fit in. They fit into their world. Let's understand their world. Let's teleport.
Yeah, maybe we have to. We have to change.
We have to change. How do we? That's why I developed the direction technique. I've developed the direction technique because it's so direct, and the more you do it, the more intuitive senses you get. And there's 3 breaths in the human race that I believe through the direction technique that we can track our own body, go to those parts of the body, click our jaw, 3 breaths in, touch our thyroid, and then we are centering so much targeting that no outside influences can affect you. Don't get me wrong, it still happens. But autism, some of them might just have they get frustrated very easy, like agitated. So
Yeah.
I remember when I was working in a disabled school, or I used to work in a lot of environments actually, and I had this calmness about me. And as soon as I'd walk into the room, I thought my job is not just to help these children learn. My job was to help that teacher calm, so that that teacher can be calm while teaching those children. I saw the calmness in me, because when you're feeling calm, you can learn better, can't you?
I was just about to say, you can learn better when you feel calm. Yeah.
Right. And and this can not just talk about children. Just before we finish, I remember one mum come in with a teenager, and it was so beautiful. So this teenager wasn't autistic as such, but had highly intuitive skills.
Yeah.
And I give credit to the mum, because the mum wanted to listen to the child. And this child, you know how sometimes you can feel afraid at night and things like that? Like, what is that at night? Did I dream that?
Yeah.
Or do I know that? Is that someone in my house? Or is that someone that's passed over? Or I don't know. But this child kept hearing voices at night from one man. And it was so safe. But when you communicate and you teleport to a different way, it was really the child's choice, instead of saying, well, do you need to keep communicating with this man who passed over very young and left his 2 children? Because this man found this young girl who's highly intuitive, highly sensitive, could somehow, I don't know, hear things. And then you taught the child to say, oh, I'm ready to let you go now. And the peace of that child and the mother. So we didn't deaden her skills. We helped her understand those skills.
Yeah.
So some of the intuitive skills are empathy. And as you know, how many people get too sick and it's not their sickness, and they've picked it up from someone else? That's what little kids do. They go and they pick up their best friends feeling sick in the tummy. So then they come home and they're sick, and you go, well, are you sick, or is your best friend sick? That's empathy. You go to a shop, the man in front in the line, he's angry. You go and buy the bread after him, and you come out of the shop angry. Is that your anger, or is that the other guy's anger? You've teleported into his anger, right?
Yeah.
Some people see colours, some people know, some people hear sounds, and I think the sound is what we need to finish on today. I really do believe that the sound healing in ourselves, and there are a lot of new ways to learn, and they're saying Mozart and sympathy, classical music, or they're showing that they're listening to that beautiful music can help vibrate the change inside the cells in order for you to be calm. So as I say that, I touch my thyroid, I have an intention to be calm. I touch my thyroid, 3 breaths in. The thyroid is behind the trachea, near your neck. And we only do that only because we want to get a pulse.
Yeah.
So then I get people to click their jaw. And the reason why I get them to click their jaw, it's like waking up your intuitive senses to hear better. Wouldn't you want to block out negativity but hear really beautiful, positive things?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to block out the heaviness of what's going on in the work environment, or the clutter and the sounds outside, but choose to listen to the vibration of really beautiful sounds instead, and then get on with your work and focus?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great tip.
Yeah, and then you take your 3 breaths in with your mouth open, and then you track where the breath goes inside your body. Automatically you're learning to intuit your own body talk.
Yeah.
I remember one time also, just before, when I was working also in a high school, I came up with amazing alternative programs that was cross-curriculum development. And my aim was to not only the 32 children in the class, and also adult learning when I was in Darwin as well. My aim was to help the educators change, and not just change, to implement a new way to learn, so that the brain the left, right brain becomes a whole brain thinking. And then that whole brain thinking then connects to the nervous system in the spine. And then the nervous system in the spine connects down to the toes and the teeth, into your feet. Can you imagine how quicker you can learn and lessen this confusion in someone's brain to understand concepts? And you know, when you've got someone that can understand a concept of level 5 but doesn't understand the concept of level 1, they become naughty because they're bored.
I was about to say, they sometimes sound like they're highly intelligent, that they can be bored with
really bored.
The concepts.
Really bored, but also really naughty. So that's why I told you the story about the autistic person. They were really naughty, but they just, as you and I, need to feel safe.
Yeah.
Because if you feel safe, you can learn. Or if you feel safe and get out of your... I'm thinking of the parent of the child that has no communication. Now, if you can just step away a little bit, learn how to communicate and teleport in time gently, and then wouldn't it be beautiful if you can send healings to others instead of just on ourselves all the time? And would that change our world?
Yeah, it would change the environment. People, you know, like you said, there wouldn't be angry people at the shops. Or
Yeah, I know. And then people will become accountable and for their behaviour. And we do get angry sometimes. I get it.
Yeah.
But the trick is to catch it, find the origin of the anger, which is why the direction technique is so powerful, because you can teleport to the time exactly of the root cause of the anger, and then you use strategies to know how to diffuse that. And that's when the shamanism or the ancient healings come in, with the earth and the beautiful, the wind and the sand and all of that. The kids love the kinetics of sitting, putting their feet in the sand and getting them refocused into our element, which is fire, wind. What's next? Fire, wind, earth,
water.
But our planet is changing, so therefore we have having global warming. So we need to control ourselves around making sure that we can be in the right time and in the right place and heal our planet.
Awesome. So many interesting topics in that chapter 5.
Yeah, thanks. Like when we came back and read that, we realised there was some quite valuable information in that chapter, and you know, and one of them's, I just want to read it out if that's all right.
Yeah.
Children with special qualities, gifts of intuitive abilities emerging in our world, and it doesn't matter if you're 5, you might have been 94 and you're one of those. So these sensitive, intelligent, beautiful souls have the ability to get whatever they want. At times they can be they're really good at getting what they want. And so in the book I asked the question, have you had a child that seems to know things that you can't explain?
Yeah.
And have you looked into someone's eyes and then you know, like I'm talking about a child now, or someone that's defiantly, and you're meeting truth? Look at what's happening around in the world now. We're getting these people that are coming up to make sure people are telling the truth. They're becoming more and more defiant. They can be defiant, strong-willed, they respect themselves, but they don't like it when other people disrespect you or others.
Yeah.
And they also understand concepts really, really quickly. And they just want to learn their way. So there's a lot in that chapter, and so I just want to say thanks for talking to me about this chapter, because I think that the key to this chapter is keeping our intuitive gifts open. And what I found now after teaching people to gain back those gifts, and in adults as well as children, they're becoming extremely intuitive again, and they're becoming more and more and more and more and more stable.
Which is what we need.
We need, we need stability. Because why? We've got earthquakes. We have to become more stable. And we've got to become more and more and more who we are. Otherwise, we can't get lost now. We cannot get lost into the group thinking of others that may be a little bit disruptive. It doesn't mean not being in groups. I think being in groups is beautiful. But think about the autistic child or the person. I don't diagnose, but sometimes being in groups for them, think about their nervous system, think about their eyes, and think about being touched, think about their skin being highly sensitive. Now we can understand a little bit also about yourself, not you, Nick, but the world, and go, I'm quite sensitive. And what can I do to be in the world to make those sensitivities work for me instead of be against me?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Nick, for today.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, Trina.
I just the main tip that I just channeled then, which means I touched my thyroid, I took 3 breaths in, and I listened. I just listened to messages. And they're really good.
What'd you get?
I've got I also notice my saliva, which I love because I'm in this time now. So when you teleport to people that can teleport and they're all over the place, that's sometimes a problem because they're everywhere, right? They're so scattered. I'm not talking about someone that's got autism. I mean, some of them they're so focused in and they're focused in their activity. If someone comes in and I'm talking about some people that are so scattered. Yes?
Yeah.
So what's it like to be around someone that's so scattered?
It's a little bit overwhelming.
So that's a great word, and it's overwhelming. So the channel I got is like a simple one is just rub your hands like this and create heat. Like that's what I got. I got so many messages there, and I got about 10. And that's for me, what my life's like, when I can get 10 messages within a second, not even that. It comes in. And I go, come on, let's slow it down. And the first one was, we can do it. And and it's just like, it's so cool that I can use my brain to work it out. And did you notice that also with people like me, and more people are finding that, is I can predict futures, like 10 years ago, like the COVID, and I've written a book 10 years ago, and I can hear sounds of viruses. And now you might understand why it's so radical to hear a sound of a disease. And we can disrupt that sound of that disease.
Yeah.
We can take over that. We can work out the intelligence of the body and bring in a different sound, i.e. dolphin sounds or Mozart, and direct that with our focus. So it's your intentions of what you want. So just the simple one is just to rub your 2 hands together, and you create heat in those 2 hands. And I just want to let you know before we go, it's not Reiki, it's focused heat therapy through direction technique, because it's from the ancient way, our way, but we've got a direct way. Instead of letting it just diffuse out, you need to know what to do with the palms of your hand. And of course, my hands are getting hot. Normally it's only 1, but 2. But for those that are having like total worry at the moment, can you please do that? And then place the heat on your both hands of your body, both hands of your head, and then have the intention to calm the neurons in your head, your left, your right, your left, your right, and then suddenly you'll get really hot maybe. And it's not hot that it's, like I'm hot because it's hot outside. It's a heat healing hotness from the ancient healers, and you are burning up this worry, and you put it on your head and you direct it into your mind, and you let go of the worry. You click your jaw, you rub your hands again, and then you have the intention of bringing it down 2 sides of your spine, which is your myelin sheath, and you calm. So I think the tip today is, no matter what environment you are, can you be accountable for your behaviour, whether you're a teacher in a high school or primary school, or you are working in an environment, or you want to do it for yourself. Can you just step out of that disruptive energy or that disruptive condition, aggressiveness, step back and say to the word, calm. I calm my nervous system. I calm my nervous system. Calm. Well, thanks, Nick. Thanks for today.
Awesome. Thanks, Trina. I'm going to listen to Mozart tomorrow while I work. I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, great. Oh, I'm going to start too. I've been listening to Mozart too.
Yeah.
Automatically, my mind's not thinking. Lots of love. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.